going more in depth in whatever the fifth gate actually is. You know, the fifth gate, I always talk about the fifth gate, wherever the dragon is. How I came to notice that this is actually the fifth gate. You know, in a straight line, whenever you go inside of this outside of the realms, inside of the void of Leviathan, for example, and also in the astral plane, you always come across other different kind of gates. And in order to go to the dragon's gate, you have to reach down for the fifth gate. Like I said in the book, you have to turn the page 5 times in order to know what happens to dragons. So we are living in the center of the book, and now you are searching down for the dragon. But the dragon is very far away and is not planning to return to this physical realm unless they have to connect with you. And this connection is going to be spiritual. Because when the dragon comes to this place, it's always going to be in spirit, not in a physical way. Because the dragon does not belong here anymore. They belong in a different world. And this different world, I have to say, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful world. This is just like the same nature, the same waters, the same fire, the same earth, like it seems, but with dragons in it. How can you see it? I mean, in the beginning of my path, I didn't want the dragon actually, because I was too humble. I said I'm not worthy enough. When the dragon showed me the dragon realm, the fifth gate, and I could count 5 different kind of openings before I reached down. But even inside of the fifth gate, it was not immediately the dragons that you could see. It is even after it. There is still just a slightly page that you have to turn to know that the dragons are inside of this inside of this dimension, inside of the fifth gate. And this is highly protected by Leviathan. Leviathan is inside of it, protecting the gate and protecting everyone who wants to, every dragon actually. That is what Leviathan does. He protects the dragons. He tries to be their guardian, that he is in fact the father of all dragons, that he is the guardian of all dragons. And that is the reason why Leviathan is with you. Leviathan is with you because he's a guardian of whatever lives inside of you, what is awakened. Because whenever you have an awakening, you can feel very, very draconic inside of yourself. And that is why Leviathan will always be with you. And Leviathan is the gatekeeper of the fifth gate, simply to protect the dragons. And once you enter this dimension, I was simply just awakened, so I didn't know what was going on. This was not a dream. This was too lively. This was too realistic, that I had 2 different kind of lives, that I could see the fifth gate, that I could as well just go to work and cut myself out of mere confusion, that I didn't even know what happened. I was having a double life. I was seeing this, and I was seeing at the same time this world, but I was not thinking anymore. There was a part of me gone, counting for the fifth gate. That is just it. That is why it's being called the fifth gate, because in a straight line, whenever you go in a straight line in the astral plane or in Leviathan's void, you pass by 4 different kind of gates in between. The fifth one is the one to enter, but not immediately that you will see the dragons. That is how protected the dragons are inside of the fifth gate. And that is why actually practically no one in this world will go there, because they don't actually belong there. They belong in a different kind of gate. There are so many gates, and if humanity only knew wherever they should go, they would not be stuck inside of this dimension, because that is where this idea of hell and demons come from, because they will become one themselves if they do not find their gate. If we do not find their gate, it's simply because we didn't had a high connection with our dragon. We lost this connection, and that is also what Leviathan tries to do whenever he is with you. Leviathan tries to search down this connection that you have with your dragons, because they are showing you the way to the fifth gate. And that is why it's very important to have this connection here to this world. The dragon will be here in spirit, that you just need to feel your own draconic energy, and you feel the dragon by your side. Leviathan is being seen in this world, in this humanity, as some kind of a monster, as the end of the world. But in fact, he's trying to protect the dragons. He's trying to protect the serpents. He's trying to protect the children of Tiamat. And that one of the children is actually living inside of you and by your side. You have a high connection, a circle, that also being called the dragon's eye. This circle is godlike, but humanity will not understand this. So it doesn't make sense to explain everything to humanity. The reason why I'm trying to explain it is so that you will have a trigger and you will have your spirit by your side completely, that you are awakened. And that is what I'm trying to do, but not to convince humanity, because I couldn't care less to convince humanity. I try to convince you. I try to trigger you, because this trigger shows that you also should see the fifth gate. And once you will see the fifth gate, you will see it as some kind of a paradise, that you have to go through hell, but seeing paradise at the end, when Leviathan shows you the mention of the dragons. And I wouldn't like that the dragon would return, because in this humanity the dragon will not be welcome. I know that the dragon will not be welcome. That is why they live inside of you. That is why they live like a spirit. They cannot be seen. They cannot be noticed. Some people notice the dragon inside and the dragon around you, simply because they have a connection with a higher power, because they can also as well have a spirit by their side that is knowing the way. It shouldn't be inside of the dragon's path or inside of the fifth gate, but as well that they have a high connection with their spirit, so it could be that they will feel wherever you belong very well. So in fact, whatever the fifth gate is where some of us, or maybe all of us, actually belong. But where does your humanity stay? Where will your humanity stay whenever you have to go through the dragon's gate? Because Leviathan doesn't allow humans inside of the dragon's gate. Now that is a decision that I don't like to talk about, because I had to leave my humanity here behind and just live like a zombie. I was not myself anymore. I was missing something very, very important that was with me ever since I was born. Now it was awakened and gone, and I could see two different kind of things happening here on this earth, happening there on that earth. I was no longer human over there, and here I was very much human, 100%. And so that was very confusing. It was in the beginning of my awakening, so I was just going inside of the dragon's path hard, just like knocking on my head, like, yes, this is it. But this was really a beautiful experience. It seemed like 10 minutes, but it was like 5 months that I was gone. Time works so differently on the dragon's path. On the dragon's gate, on the fifth gate. It works so differently that I want to show everyone who has this trigger about the dragon what the dragon realm is, what the fifth gate actually is. Going through hell and to eventually go in heaven. Something like that. I cannot explain it differently. But where does your humanity stay? Left behind? Or maybe going inside of another gate? To be truly honest, I don't know. But I noticed that you have to leave your humanity behind in order to go inside of the fifth gate. That is Leviathan's rules, and Leviathan's rules cannot be broken. It cannot be bent. He is the father of all dragons and will protect everything, and humans cannot be trusted. Humans and Leviathan always were clashed together. If humans could destroy Leviathan, they would. If Leviathan would destroy humanity, he would not, because he loves life, but he will protect every single one of his children with everything he has, even if it means that he has to destroy That is why they call him the end of the world, destroyer of the seas. But in fact, he's the protector of the sea. He's protector of the sea, he's protector of the waters, and he's protector of the void. That is, he lives inside of the void that is being said to be hell, but also inside of the deepest of the waters. And so they call it, they called him a monster, but who is truly the monster? But so yeah, so an explanation a bit more of what the fifth gate actually is and why I call it the fifth gate. Because you have to go in a straight line in the Leviathan's void, or in the astral plane. You go to the straight line, you come across 4 different kind of dimensions, and that is also to be careful of, because these dimensions, if you open them, they will notice that you pass by, and sometimes they will go along with you. So that is also something to be careful for. And if you open a dimension, then I opened so many dimensions back in the day, in the beginning of my path, that I opened so many of them that I couldn't close them, and my house was an entire haunted house, and all of them so-called demons, but they were in fact the residents of the Leviathan's void, lost spirits, or residents of a different kind of gate, that they followed you they saw a dragon fly over, and so they followed you, with you. Careful for that. So yeah, a bit of an explanation for this. I felt that I had to explain a bit more about the fifth gate, because a lot of people, they don't understand what the fifth gate actually is. Well, in fact, the fifth gate is where the dragon is.